I have several hobbies. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I get into, and I mean, it's great because I don't ever get bored, really. I always have something that I can pick up and fiddle with or research or whatever. So
we're very good at piddling.
Yeah. What are your biggest hobbies?
I have a lot of different hobbies, but I don't actually do any of them, which is frustrating. I used to really like to, as old as this makes me sound, scrapbook. I like to swim. I like to skate. I like to do artsy things, to take pictures and paint and all that kind of stuff. Cool. What are your hobbies? Because other people might not know.
I like to collect nerd stuff.
If you can't tell.
Wrestling, playing music. I also like to skate, but I like to skateboard, not roller skates. I like to swim also. I enjoy hanging out with my friends, talking to the homies, you know.
Oh, hiking and outdoorsy.
Hiking is fun, yeah.
Camping.
All good stuff. But, you know, out in the field, internet historian goes out and he teaches us about things. He gives us a proper education, if you will. And I think that this is going to be interesting because he tends to find the weird and absurd parts of things.
Yes.
So I have no idea
These
what
are probably going to be some bizarre hobbies.
It's so open-ended.
Specific hobby, or maybe gaming or something. I don't know.
Who knows? But this is a new video out on the Incognito Mode channel called Hobbies, period. Let's check it out.
Okay.
Brought to you by Waldorf Tanks. Hobbies.
That's not what it sounded like.
Hobbies. What are hobbies?
What are they?
Is rock climbing a hobby?
A dangerous one.
All this and more on In the Field.
Metal detecting. There you go.
Alright, so do you have any hobbies?
I do, actually. I have many.
Really?
Yeah, swindling larger YouTube channels, that's probably the biggest one. But outside of that, I play Dungeons & Dragons every week.
Nerd.
Okay, well...
No, sorry, carry on. Sorry, I didn't realise my mic was on. Carry on.
Do you just have a big red button that you push to mute when you want to yell slurs? Tell me about your hobbies.
The older you get, the more maintenances around the house become your hobbies.
Oh my
quite a lot
god.
of gardening.
Old green thumb, eh?
I'm not amazing at keeping the plants alive or fruiting, but
I am good at keeping them.
yeah. Once in a while, landscaping as well. Like I rent the diggers and then I smooth out the dirt and such. Otherwise, I watch a lot of YouTube.
So that's interesting because I don't.
Interesting.
I don't know if that makes me a bad YouTuber or a good one.
Same.
Because...
Oh, I've got my hand in the air. I have the answer to this one, Minute Kudos.
Am I a good YouTuber or not?
Bad! I want to guess bad YouTuber. Carry on, Minute Kudos.
Was it the awful videos or the lack of uploads?
I'd say both, sir.
Well, Timmy, maybe one day you too can put off uploading to your YouTube channel. Something I find interesting but I'd never do is those people who go like, I know what you call it, like dredging or magnet fishing, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where,
I think
you see
that's
these
so
videos
strange.
on YouTube and TikTok, which are probably like faked a lot of the time, but I'm sure they still, you find there are just so many guns.
I love that stuff. Watching people panning for gold, people like looking around with metal detectors and stuff. In fact, I was so into that stuff for a while, this is before I had a YouTube channel, that I bought a metal detector.
Oh,
and
shit.
I went to a store and I'm like, come on,
I
we're
think
going to
it'd
go
be
down to
interesting.
a thing. We're going to go to a park or something and we're going to find a creek and we're just going to like metal detect around. As soon as I had the metal detector in my hand, I was so embarrassed. I just felt embarrassed. I can't explain it.
The reality set in that you'd have to be the guy going metal detecting.
Yeah, and we went down to
You
like
could
this
find
creek
some
and on
cool
the way
stuff.
there,
Maybe, you
you'd
know.
pass by people and you'd kind of like try to push the metal detector behind their line of sight so they wouldn't see you. And then we got down there and boy, that metal detector was a real piece of shit. I didn't have much money at the time, so I just bought like the cheapest one. And so it only made a beeping noise when there wasn't anything.
That is the worst scenario. It still works, but it's now
beeping the whole
incredibly
time.
annoying.
Loud and awful, yeah.
On the idea that her story's so mad, she leaves you and you had to walk home that day.
We didn't find anything except like one bottle cap, and then
Nuka
like, on the way
Colas.
back we're like, oh, there's a beach. All right, fine, I'm gonna try the beach, and couldn't find anything. We're making this really loud fucking noise. People are looking at us, and then I went, all right, I'm not finding anything here. Hold on, and I threw $2 into the
Oh,
sand.
wow.
To see if the thing would pick it up. It not only didn't pick it up, but then I lost the $2.
Oh, no.
I lost my stupid fucking hobby, and I haven't been metal detecting ever since.
Bird watching. Oh,
I don't know
racing.
anything about
Get
this.
into pigeon racing.
Okay.
I met a guy who bred and raced pigeons,
Okay.
and it is fascinating. They'll race these things over, like 400 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
And it'll come, like, down to the wire.
Yeah.
It is really cool the way they breed these particular pigeons, and like, oh, well, this one has particular stamina, but this one has a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can keep pigeons basically the same way you keep chickens. But they just sit there and make this noise like...
Yeah.
That's a really good pigeon noise.
Oh, thank you. Instead of like... like a chicken.
That was not a good chicken
And they
noise.
stink. But pigeons are just like... Hey, I'm purring like a cat,
I also don't like
Yeah.
pigeons, but I will give you that they are quieter and less smelly than chickens.
Yeah.
Possibly less tasty too, though. But my only issue with something like pigeon racing is because it's, I'm assuming, somewhat of a niche sport. I would feel like I'd want like cool video game stats involved. Like if I was going to be breeding these little suckers, I'd want to have like a UI where I can be like, here's this guy's speed rating out of 10.
They do that.
What the fuck?
They have these little ankle bracelet things, and
What?
then they have like a QR code on them, and then they have like these websites online
That's
that
kinda
take all of
cool.
their stats and track them by GPS and do all this stuff. It's like crazy.
That's like
Holy
sports
shit.
stats, but for birds.
And you know what? Here's how you race a pigeon, right?
You throw it really hard.
You go to the starting line, and then you let it go, and then you sit in a chair having a few drinks,
Yeah,
and then
what do you
someone's going
do?
to call you on the phone in a few hours and tell you that you won or lost. It's brilliant.
Oh, but
Yeah, it's not like you can really
That's
watch
really-
it.
Yeah, and it's like once you win, then
Unless
you
you
can
have
put
a
this
drone.
pigeon out to stud like a bull.
Yeah.
This one's the fastest. Well, now it's worth like 100 grand. Come on, and you put it in a cage with like 200 female pigeons.
And you play romantic pigeon music.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that this is just going to be the greatest moment of this pigeon's life. It's fucking hilarious.
My problem is pigeons suck, and I think something like a hawk or something seems way cooler to breed.
No.
Hawks are pretty cool. Well, hawks are the natural enemy of the pigeon. You see.
So what you're saying is I should breed hawks
Not
and you should
good.
breed pigeons.
No.
We'll see who wins.
No, keep yours away from mine. It's not fair. Ad time. World of Tanks sponsorship. Sandra, have you heard about this new free-to-play MMO with over 160 million players? The best thing about World of Tanks, not just that it's free, which it is that they're continuously pumping out new content. Like an old drainpipe in the Philippines, there's a constant flow of content into the greater ocean. Did you know you can enjoy World of Tanks on a console or on the mobile phone?
On
All
the
you have to do
mobile.
is call up this number and you tell them where you want to move. Yeah, go 5 yards forward. Fire. Did I hit him?
That's a hit.
Now, Sandra, this game is set in the post-apocalypse. All of the animals have gone extinct except for the tank. But then a world war breaks out between them.
Hey, Mohammed. I heard there's only one tank in the whole game.
That's not true, Sandra. In fact, there are lots of different classes of tank. You can be a healing tank, you can be a stealth tank, you can even be a druid
Say a
tank.
healing?
This was downtown London before any sort of conflict happened. Boy, this really reminds me of a war I can't mention, Sandra. So go to the link below and use the code COMBAT. We'll give you a Cromwell B premium tank. 250,000 credits. 7 days World of Tank premium account time, plus 3 rental premium tanks. By the way, they sent us some promo stuff, and some of these are like ads that have Arnold Schwarzenegger
Oh
in
my
them,
God.
and Mila Jokovic and Chuck Norris. I don't know
What?
why they sent me this, but it's brilliant. Look at this.
Also, they collaborate with Girls und Panzer.
Oh, I actually like that one. And same with Valkyria Chronicles. It's a good game. You know, Sandra,
What?
I heard they're adding a dating sim to World of Tanks.
Oh, well, Summer. My barrel is all filled with ash and debris.
Take this pipe cleaner.
Oh no.
Zara, how come you're in that tank right now?
I don't know.
Oh, stop. You're destroying the whole set.
Oh no.
So click on the link in the description below and use code COMBAT to get a whole bunch of stuff. Look at this stuff. Add over.
Good God. Good God.
Guillotine.
I know what the worst hobby is.
Guillotine.
What? Candle making.
Really?
Oh, what's the fucking point? Go down to the store and buy a big candle for $1, or if you want a scented one, they're everywhere. Like, I don't understand why people are making their own candles. What's the... there's one fun part about candle making, which is that you can dip your hand in the hot wax, and then you've got like a claw thing that you can start, peeling away.
It is surprising that isn't some kind of therapeutical thing, because that seems like somewhere like, have you been to the wax dipping?
Yes! They got those smoke pots and acupuncture and shit. Why don't they have wax dipping?
That's the perfect, massage thing, because, it kind of hurts, like a lot of
they didn't
those
know?
kind of treatments, acupuncture, massaging, there's like a pain
We
element
had
to
one
them.
when I was a
But
kid.
there's also like a satisfaction element to them where afterwards you feel like, and then afterwards your skin would probably feel real moisturized or something.
Yeah, it feels
you will
soft.
sweat.
Trains, on the other hand, I could see trains, because trains are that's a bit of a novelty. Like an old train's kind of cool to ride on.
There's this park in Melbourne, and it's got this tiny train. There's a little conductor dude that sits at the
There's
front,
one of those in
and he
Steel
just gives
Creek.
rides, all day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was enjoying the hell out of it, and I understood it all of a sudden.
I think it's
Yeah,
mostly
just
for children.
Suddenly all the cynicism that went into your early videos washes
washes
away.
away.
That's why you only upload twice a year now.
Yes, no, too obsessed with trains now. Oh, is that the DC-45? Running on time, I see.
Would you tie them into the tracks? Do you reckon that?
Oh,
did they ever do
shit.
that? Is that a real thing someone did?
I would presume so.
Probably.
I would presume that's a pretty good way of taking someone out.
That has to be one of the most horrible way. You're going to be mincemeat 100% chance. There's no way you're getting out of that.
Throw that one up, Jamie. Does anyone ever get tied to the railroad track? When did they start using the
He said
guillotine? That was
Jamie.
around the
Yeah, he did.
1700s, wasn't it? And that's the same time that the train was around. Why didn't they just use the train?
Well, a bit messy to clean up, I think. You can't
Probably.
just have a train running around covered in
Yeah.
gold all the time.
Yeah, true.
You know what's crazy about the guillotine is the last, government-issued guillotining in France happened when the first Star Wars movie was in
They're
theaters.
saying it
Yeah, I was
like
going to
you
say it's
said
the
it.
1970s or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's way later than you'd think.
Yeah.
What?
I actually think about that more
No,
often
what?
than because they say that your brain activity still kicks around for a good 30 seconds afterwards.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Do you reckon you're just wow, this sucks?
Well, you'd lay
I
on
mean,
the
what else
basket
would you
and then
say?
You'd be all nauseous, right? Because you'd be you'd spin and then land
know if you
upside
feel
down.
it.
And you'd be like, my face is right up against this wicker. This is terrible.
Yeah, this just sucks.
Then you might be a bit bored for a little while, just waiting to die.
I hate thinking about this. This is stressing me out. It's something I have to
God.
do later.
Okay, what would be the worst part about getting guillotined? Because I suppose the blade is quick, at least. There would be a moment just before you put your head in it that you get really close to the guillotine and you kind of have this thought that's oh, this is really dangerous.
Yeah, no, that's
shouldn't
gonna
be
fucking
doing it.
suck. Yeah.
This
when
is
you get too
really
close to it,
dangerous.
Like a bandsaw or,
Yeah, you get
know,
a
something
tingle in your
shock glass.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it. Right. So what you do is
Yeah.
underneath you want to have a bit of a lever, like a seesaw, and then you have the basket there. So the moment it cuts through, your head falls off, it launches your head straight into the air, and then it's kind of whoa, I get to see the whole crowd.
That'd be the worst if it only cut through halfway.
Yeah, or it gets stuck.
God.
And then that's pulling your neck as well.
The sound effect.
And they just kind of they just stand above it and just kick the back of your head.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna need a couple fellas just to jump up and down on the blade, please.
Aren't we talking about hobbies?
Oh, here's the problem. You tied a bloody knot in the rope. It's caught against the... It's caught against the wooden beam.
This is very morbid.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about other ways to do the guillotine. Because you could have them at the very top.
You drop them onto the...
Or you have an enormous spring underneath the blade. So
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Pull,
That would
and
make a
it
mess.
goes off.
Yeah, right, yeah, you're loading. This feels like if as seen on TV, infomercials
Oh,
invented
wow.
the guillotine. Aren't you sick and tired of that normal guillotine? and they invent this weird double-sided guillotine that can like
It
cut.
slices, it dices, and only 3 payments of $39.95 plus postage. And the old person tries to drop the blade, but then they just kind of fall over, and then they're
Yeah, they try to pull on the rope, and then they just immediately go and turn to the camera, like holding their wrist. What about one that's like a fan, and it's like...
Oh my
So you
god.
just keep sliding people through it.
like a
Oh, come on.
turned into little slices.
Oh yeah, that would be quite nice. Yeah, we're essentially describing a deli slicer, but yeah.
Electric chair, that sounds pretty bad, but... I
Why
feel like
are
it'd
we
be pretty
talking
good.
about this
I
still?
knew it,
How do we
man.
improve the electric chair? I'm thinking what you do is instead of one big shot, just thousands of little
They
shots.
just randomly occur all over your
What's
body.
that, a tens machine?
Yeah, it's like you're constantly licking a 9-volt battery.
Oh my
What if they
God.
just tape the battery to your tongue and then walk away and go,
It does 1 damage at a time, but eventually... Well, that's just death by 1,000 cuts, but it's death by 1,000 small shocks.
oh, fuck.
I wonder if you did just cover someone in wet 9-volt batteries, like whether you would die from starvation or like electrical current.
I think eventually, like, your muscles must just give out.
But it's like the muscles, it'll be your heart or brain that like gives
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
your heart would give out.
Your
Yeah,
heart.
that would be it. Yeah. You just get overexerted.
Yeah, this, okay, hold on. What if electrical chair, but there's a phone to play Family Guy on it while you die?
What if like... Oh, shit. I just lost it.
Did the Family Guy phone flashbanged you?
Throwing flashbang.
Oh wow.
It just wiped your brain like a...
He said
Men in Black
flashbang, but I
flicker.
thought he said fleshbang because he's
Okay, imagine a Men in Black if instead you didn't see anything and they held up Family Guy Funny Moments compilation.
What the fuck?
Oysters?
What the
One
fuck?
of those things that I got interested in for quite a while was oysters.
Oysters.
Yeah.
Oysters.
Yeah, I just thought they were really interesting.
You went on oysters.com.
I don't know what that is. It won't be good though. And I went to this oyster tour in Tasmania, and they were just telling about all these like really interesting things about oysters. So yeah, you have these piles and piles of shells. We would burn them and turn them into lime. Oh, really? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so anyway, most oysters are about 7 years old, and here's how they mate.
Let me get some of that oystersy. Yeah. I think it's a
Oysters.
clam, not an oyster, but there's a picture where like they put a bunch of salt in front of a clam and its the big
Licks
gross
it.
tongue like flops
Yeah.
out and licks up all the salt.
Ugh.
Have you seen that?
No.
Let me find that. It is interesting.
Pull that one up,
weird.
Jamie. It's doing
Have
it.
you seen this? Yeah,
Isn't
I've
that
seen
fucked
it.
up?
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
I just want to fucking slam my fist down on it when its
Oh
tongue's
Do you reckon it pulls its tongue
no!
out and goes, ooh, salty?
out. Yeah, well, that's because if it hated salt, but then like it also has to use its tongue as its like primary means of transportation, so it has to like put its tongue in the salt to get away from the salt. It's kind of like it's like a saw trap almost.
Yes.
Oh
why
my
isn't
God.
it on saw but for animals? Yes. You're always poking your tongue out at people. Well, no. No, there's salt around and stuff.
What if there was a Saw movie where he just did it to like innocuous animals? No one gave a shit about like clams and like deep sea anglerfish.
You're always just swimming around in the dark. Now you're sellotaped to a 800-watt light bulb. He's having like a mussel and clam stew, but he throws them all in the pot and then turns the water on to boil. And he goes, here I have set up a trap. You must escape before the water boils. But he always intended just to have a stew.
Yeah, exactly. He just watches as they boil because they're fucking like clams. They can't do anything.
Now comes the warm butter.
If you do not escape in 10 seconds, you'll be enveloped in fresh cream which will permeate into your lungs and tongue, rendering you unable to move. What's an animal you would like to see in a saw trap?
Sometimes I see those birds that are like, they're usually water birds, and they've got these very long, slender legs. I just think, God, that would be satisfying just to walk over. And,
Oh, dude.
Jesus.
you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't.
No, I don't.
Like a breadstick.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm not going to, but it's kind of like, you know, when your mate is showing off a brand new pencil.
Oh yeah, and you just
Yeah,
put-
snap
He's like,
it.
I love this thing. I've sharpened it perfectly. And you just want to reach over and snap it. In my head, all this stuff is absolutely hilarious. In real life, one time there was this mouse that got caught in a mouse trap at our place, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish him, so I had to let him go free in the park.
Yeah,
Poor
I
little
couldn't bring
thing.
myself to do that either. I feel like my problem with Saw is, or just any horror movie really, which is another hobby a lot of people seem to love that I just don't understand. People never deserve it,
No.
which I guess is kind of the point.
It's such
but
a stupid movie.
when it's like, oh, just
Yeah.
some teacher who didn't like appreciate their family enough or something, it's like this person doesn't deserve to have their like,
No.
face cut. in
There
half.
was one that was like,
that's a sort of lesson
they
that you would learn
smoke,
over
so
the
they had
course
to,
of a
like, be in
lifetime
this thing
to,
where they
like,
had to, like,
appreciate your family. You know
try
what I
to
mean?
not
Yeah,
use
yeah.
the
Yeah.
oxygen.
It's going to work itself out.
You've just given them PTSD. You haven't solved anything.
Dungeons and Dragons.
One time, I dungeoned and dragoned.
Okay, interesting. When was this?
I was invited to do some D&D stuff back in the university days. I showed up on a Saturday. It was about 1 in the afternoon, and we were there until about 7 o'clock, and we had to call it quits at 7 o'clock because the host's mum was coming home now. In that 6 hours,
Makes
I think we
sense.
managed to play for about an hour. And then the other 3 hours were spent setting up
Dude,
the
What?
game,
yes.
and the
What
other
do you
2
mean?
arguing about the rules.
Getting it
So you have
started
the
takes so
authentic
long.
experience, is what you're saying.
I am amazed that anyone gets to do more than about 15 minutes of gaming per 4-hour session. You got any D&D story? You ever kill a man?
I remember one time I went to a card store to buy some
He's
cards.
got
and
the
they were
Magic
having,
the
their
Gathering
weekly D&D
logos.
night where like a whole bunch of different tables all set up for people to play D&D.
Yeah.
And there's a guy sitting at one of them who had head to toe full Deadpool merch on.
Oh.
He had a Deadpool hat, he had a Deadpool jumper on, the jeans, I believe, probably just regular jeans, but they were black to fit with the color scheme.
Yeah.
And then he had red and black sneakers, which I don't know if they were Deadpool
Fitted.
branded, but they were definitely, continuing the color scheme.
You know what? Maybe it was like a bad coincidence. Like, maybe these are all the things he doesn't usually wear. Because, okay, this happened to me once, right? Somehow, when I was like 11, I think my mum had bought me a camouflage shirt and
Yeah.
camouflage shorts. And so, like my dad, right, he kind of wanted me to be a bit of a snob for some reason when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So he used to take me to the driving range all the time. And I remember looking in my closet and going, oh, I don't have anything except this camouflage shirt and these camouflage shorts that I never wear. And so I just had to wear both of those. And so I looked like I was going to the military at age 11. And I remember distinctly, like, we were waiting to go in. And there's these 2 absolute strangers who walk by in the other direction and they salute. And I just died. That's probably what happened to this dude.
I don't know about that. Oh,
I
fuck.
think I would like to retire to a small town in Tasmania called Launceston.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is I was there and I was walking around downtown and, oh, neat, looks like a Warhammer store. So I went in and I bought a book, which I never read, and then I went back out and then I walked 2 stores down and then all of a sudden another comic book store.
Okay.
And like, hey, that's brilliant. There's like 2 of these in a very small town. And then I walked around the corner of the block and there was like one of those war games stores right there. It was all within like 100-yard radius. It was brilliant.
I'd love to find like a real nerdy town that you just like, yeah, we're really nerdy, so what?
Yeah, we don't reviews.
We just make a commune in the highlands of Tasmania.
No girls
and we're
allowed.
Just shipping Warhammer and D&D.
Absolutely. And then we set up like a cross between an internet cafe and a deli. But we only let our friends in and then everybody gets free deli meats, right? And then eventually one
Where's
of
the
us
profit?
becomes the mayor. I
Oh,
actually
okay.
Googled once the current mayor of Launceston and I thought, you know what, I could
Look
at
at
least
that outfit,
take this guy in
dude.
a fight.
Yeah,
Damn.
which is how they settle the mayorship in Tasmania.
Yeah, that's right. You stand in the middle of the triangle that intersects the 3 war game stores.
Yeah, and you have the ultimate war game.
Oh,
I've
YuGiOh.
never
Okay.
fucking understood Yu-Gi-Oh! Because half my friends play it, but like you look at one of those cards and it is just a novel, man. It is like...
I have only ever seen the show, and that thing does not seem to have any rules at all.
Yeah, those motherfuckers just making shit up on the fly.
You can't use 2 beast cards on one deck without sacrificing at least a spirit card. You what? Who? When did that happen? And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Immediately does it anyway without sacrificing the spirit card. And then he looks like he's, oh no, Yugi, you've lost all your life points. But then he's like, hold on a minute, I've got the heart of the cards. What does that mean? And then all of a sudden his poor life comes out.
Was that a gun?
Yeah. Did you ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
I did. I was obsessed with it as a kid. But you're right, it has such little bearing on the actual game. I like to imagine the card designers just saw every episode come out and they're just like, fuck, how are we going to keep up with, like, because obviously kids are going to buy the decks being like, I want to do Yuki's cool move.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, please.
I remember as a kid looking up the cards and the descriptions are completely different to the show and being really disappointed. I also think some kids stole my cards, I'm not sure.
I know who it was. It was that goddamn Kaiba.
That goddamn Kaiba came to rural New Zealand and stole my deck that was probably worth $20 max.
He's
He held
saying
your grandfather to
Yeah.
ransom.
but it doesn't sound like it.
He wanted a Dark Wizard card. I think Yugi has the... I don't know if his name is Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yugi.
His name's Yugi, and then when he turns into the version of him that's trapped in the Millennium Puzzle, he's Yummy Yugi.
I forgot about that, the Millennium Puzzle.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Millennium Eye, Yug.
And that's right, there he can like see under Yugi's clothes with it or something.
His facial expression would just change when he goes between the two of them. He had the most bizarre hair of any anime character I've ever
Shit's
seen.
crazy.
It was like, what is even happening?
Yeah,
With that, it's
yeah.
like 3 different colors, and it's almost a pyramid.
At least like most anime characters here, it's like stupid, but you're like, okay, theoretically with enough hair gel, you could make that happen, like Cloud's hair or something.
Yeah.
Like there's just a blonde guy with spiky, like shaped hair. And then Joey's just from Brooklyn for some reason, even though it's like set in Japan.
Wasn't this in a video?
Yeah, I also did a video on this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which you can click on the top right.
Yeah,
corner of the
don't
screen.
do that. Don't do that. Don't click on that. Alright, listen up, Mini Cooters. I've got your granddad. I'm going to expose him to my gamma radiation card.
I'm gonna play your mountain and tap it and cast lightning bolt on your
Are you
force.
turning Egyptian right now?
You've already done this joke before. Don't make me do blackface.
You're just in
Oh my
denial,
God.
Mini Cooters.
Man, you need to start finding someone else to do these.
Alright, that's been on. I'll catch you later.
I'll see you at, well, we got D&D tonight, and then you said you're coming around for Magic tomorrow.
My mum's coming home and said I gotta go.
We've got Yu-Gi-Oh! The day after that, and then we're going to be watching Game of Thrones the day after that. Warhammer, I think, is booked in on Sundays.
I've got some terrible news.
Oh.
This is historian.
Oh.
Internet historian's wife.
Oh, okay. Nice.
He has died. You won't be able to make any of those appointments. Don't contact this number again.
I'm
Goodbye.
at your door looking at you, though.
Goodbye.
We've been
Please
talk- we've been
respect
talk-
our privacy.
We've been talking face to
Please
face.
respect our privacy.
I'm looking at you.
Do not forget World of Tanks.
I feel like I would like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! or any of those card games if I could just make up the rules like that.
Yeah,
Like
they
I will play
always were
those
making
games
shit
with
up.
you if you play it that way with me.
Yeah.
But having to learn, like there was one time you were like really, really trying to get me to learn Magic.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, like you've already asked like 42 times. So like I'll just sit down and we can try to play like a game, a match, I don't fucking know. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like an hour of you explaining 3 cards. And I was like, this is just, I cannot do this.
You can. You can. I will one day teach you. Maybe
No.
we can bring Quinn on for
No.
that. That would be a cool video.
Or you and Quinn can play because you both enjoy that thing.
Yeah.
I don't.
But, you know, Quinn is your friend also, and
Yeah.
we want you to be involved. And it's always fun to, because look, once you
Shouldn't have
get
brought
it,
it up.
once you get it, it's like, oh shit, this is fun. But like, of course, when you don't know what the fuck is going on, you're gonna be like,
Yeah, but it's like okay, let's just say you gotta.
sorry,
is poop.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm looking for something in the video. Sorry. Ah, I remember now.
It's like you got a fairy card and a goblin card and a unicorn, but the fairy card, it does this, but it only does this when you have this card, or if you're going to use it against one of my cards that's this card, it has this amount of power. And then it's just like, I literally don't know what you're saying after 2 or 3 cards.
It just takes a minute and you can get it. Here's the thing. Depending on how you play the game and how your opponent... No, listen. Depending on how you play the game and how your opponent is playing the game, the complexity varies of the situation.
It was complex.
Well,
it was too...
We need to get like the starter beginner thing just to show you like the basic mechanics of the game.
Maybe.
I think you would enjoy it, and it is really fun. I just have huge complaints about the way that Wizards of the Coast operates nowadays. I think that they're they're shady the way that they market to certain people, because they pretend like they give a shit about people and they really don't, and they just try to market off of the fact that people are more respectful of sexual identities and minority groups nowadays, and they're like, oh, we can slap a rainbow on this and sell a bunch of them. We don't really give a fuck about people, but let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know shit about that, obviously, but I feel like maybe even when people are trying to be inclusive, it can come across that way.
These same people accidentally sent a box of cards to somebody's house that had ordered them.
Sure.
They had ordered cards from Wizards of the Coast, but Wizards of the Coast sent them the wrong ones.
Okay.
They accidentally sent him cards that weren't released yet.
Okay.
He got those cards and was like, what the fuck? And they sent goons to his house. Like, give us our fucking cards. Like, to intimidate this person into returning the cards that they, like...
It's like their fault.
Yeah. So these same people are going to be like, we care about minorities and gay people and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you guys care about money. You're not fooling anyone. You literally intimidate people in real life. That's hammered. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. I have a story about ruining an entire Dungeons and Dragons beginning of a campaign because, number one, it was super fucking boring when they were trying to like set it up. And they were like, yeah, this fantasy game, here's the kinds of characters you can create and do whatever. I was loving the idea, but everybody kept getting fucking mad at me because I wanted to be like a drunken bard that went around singing about dicks and stuff, and like I wanted it to be funny, like my character to be funny and fun. Right? As if that can't be a thing. They were like, no, you gotta, that would be this is your first time playing the game, so maybe you want to choose a different, like an easier character. I'm like,
I want to do what I want to do.
I want to do what I want to do. And it was so much of like them trying to be all super fucking serious about everything that I just couldn't have fun with nothing. Yeah. And we never even got to play the game. It ruined the whole session. I never got invited back. And I was just like, thanks. Because like, you know, dick jokes evidently are not allowed, you know. But then, you know, one of the biggest shows about Dungeons and Dragons out there has dick jokes all the time.
And I feel bad that I like that show because I have poked fun at people in the past when I've been a big meanie, because there's this thing where I think that I hate things when I probably really would like them, and I was like, ugh, that's so weird and silly and like, and I was young and that wasn't very kind of me, and here I am like on the internet reacting to a Dungeons and Dragons TV series.
You know why? Because it's badass.
It is
and
very
super
funny.
Fun. But yeah, that was my Dungeons and Dragons experience. You know, there's a lot to be said.
After I just made fun of you for trying to teach me magic.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot to be said for people who like are enthusiasts about trains. It was mentioned briefly here, but let me fucking tell you, there is a huge community around the hobby of like model trains, going and riding different types of trains and like the different types of engines and, you know, passenger trains and trains for different things. And it's like, they are serious about it.
Yeah.
And dedicated, and that's like their life is revolving around trains.
People have their stuff, and I know that it's like at least a stereotype of some autistic people that's their special interest.
Right. But there's also like, you know, there's some people who still like Pogs. There's some people who still, I mean, I don't like them. I have some around because I think it's nostalgic and cool to remember that was even a fucking thing. But like, I have several times seen people stop in the road and pull off because the train was going by, and they hop out and start filming the train. I'm not talking about once, twice. I'm like 5 or 6 times when I've been taking our dog out.
So, we recently had someone stay over with us, and it just slipped our mind to tell them that there's a train nearby.
Right.
And it's super annoying because, like, you just don't think about it because you kind of get used to it, and you're like, God damn it. Even when we're filming, you can hear a train sometimes.
Yeah.
And the train went by, and he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I, like, forgot to tell you. And he was stoked that there was a train. And it made me laugh because I was like, who gets excited that there's this annoying train shaking your apartment and going by at 3 o'clock in the morning and like, no.
Tons of people love that shit.
Not me.
So yeah, hobbies are definitely something that I think are fucking fantastic, and I've enjoyed them quite a bit.
They make life better.
I had no idea where a lot of these things were going on. The internet historian has to be on a list for wanting to break that bird's legs. That shit was fucked up.
I understand what he means when he like broke it down for us. Because there are certain things I'm like, oh man.
Intrusive thoughts, not good.
But not ever an animal.
I mean, come on, dude. And I do agree with him about the animals caught in traps and shit. Ugh. That's so bad. Like, I would not want to, like, run across a mouse trap with the mouse just being like,
yeah, but also
it's bad enough when they're dead.
You can't set that out and then torture it and then let it go.
Yeah.
Like, you hurt it.
I don't know. They went in depth about the saw situation. Maybe they do. Maybe there's more to this. But yeah, there was a lot in this video. It was a great video. I think that they're fucking hilarious. It's very bizarre. Always. But I love his animation style where he uses just the fucking PNG files and moves them around and shit.
It took me a long time. Now this is which channel is this? I get them
Incognito
confused.
mode.
Okay. It took me a long time to understand incognito mode. And at first I was like, what the fuck is I don't understand, because like, you know, like his internet historian channel, like it'll be like about a thing and it's teaching you maybe about an event or something like that. But this was just so all over the place because they're improving.
Yeah, they're riffing back and forth. Yeah.
But for the longest time I'm like, I can't follow this. And it's like, that's kind of the point. Yeah.
But good stuff. Appreciate Internet Historian for putting this out. Incognito Mode's a badass channel. If you haven't subscribed to it, I recommend you do. I appreciate you guys for hanging out here. And if you enjoyed this reaction, you can give us a like. You can subscribe to the channel. You can even give us recommendations for videos you want to see us react to in the future.
Yes, you can do that down in the comments or on our Discord.
Hey.
And if you're interested in watching live reactions, we do that every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We do. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.